Hey, I'm Mike Backrell, and today we're going to take a look at two double-time Charlie Parker lines and use those as a way to improve our technique. Let's take a look. This line is a quick 2-5 in the key of F. So we have 2 beats of G minor 7, 2 beats of C7, and then 1 measure of F major 7. Now beat 1 is a rest. Starting on beat 2, we play G, A, B flat, C. And that's our G minor portion of the line. I'm playing G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and then A, B flat, and C on the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th fret of the 3rd string. And I'm sliding from the A to the B flat. On B3, we start the C7 portion. We start with D flat, which is our flat 9, C, B flat, A. And we go G on the 4th string, F, E, G, and it's like we're enclosing an F. Now we could end the line there. That's a great quick 2-5 line. But Bird takes it a step further. When he hits F major 7, he jumps up to a B flat. And he goes B flat, D flat, B flat, B natural, C. So he's enclosing the 5th of the F chord. From C he goes C, B flat, A, G. So we're walking down the F major scale. F, which is our root, D flat, C, B flat, A. This is something that Bird uses a lot, where he'll play a half step above whatever note he's heading towards, and kind of like a reverse leading tone. He's leading down to the note. So he's going from the root, flat 6 leads to the 5th, 4th leads to the 3rd. And I like to slide down to the 3rd there, and we go A, C, E, G, F. And it's like we're using this arpeggio to enclose the root. Now here's our full line. And rhythmically it's 1, 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. Let's take it to another position. So we'll start here, and we're going to do a very similar fingering. We'll start here again on our pinky, on the root of the G minor 7 chord. G on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Again, same thing. A, B flat, C. And we're going to do that same slide. And then D flat. And then we jump up to the B flat to enclose the 5th. Down to the 3rd, the root, and then we're going to take our flat 6 here, the D flat, and slide down to the 5th, B flat, A, and we're going to go up that arpeggio that way. So real slowly. Now the second line is a 2-5 in the key of B flat. C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7. Now we never get to the B flat. It's just 1 measure of C minor 7, 1 measure of F7. And that's where our line ends. So we'll start here on the 5th of the C minor 7 on G. On the 10th fret of the 5th string. B flat, D, E flat, G. And notice when I go from the D to E flat, I slide. So I can get into position. Because I'm trying to see the C minor 7 shape. Okay, once I get to the G, G, B flat, G, G sharp, A, which is kind of like doing an enclosure on an A. And we go F, F sharp, G, F. So here's our C minor 7 portion of the line. Now from F7, we're going to go E flat, which is our flat 7, and walk down the scale to B flat. E flat, D, C, B flat, and we go A, C, E flat, G, F, and we stop there on the F. which is beat 3. So rhythmically, we start on the and of 1, and our first note's an 8th note. The rest are all 16ths. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. And of course, we can play this in another position as well. When I move into this position, I'm picturing this version of C minor 7 and this version of F7. I'm starting here on the 5th fret of the 4th string, E flat, which hits me on the F7. One of the things about learning Charlie Parker lines, or lines in general from an instrument that's not the guitar, is the lines aren't necessarily going to fit really well on our instruments. We want to make sure we're picturing chord shapes and things like that, because a lot of instrumentalists tend to improvise around arpeggios and stuff like that. And if we can visualize a chord shape, that can usually help us to make the lines fit on our instrument. So the first line, I can see that that's all right here. I can see these chords here as I play those lines. And the F, I'm playing over like this, in a sense. Playing over like this shape, or one of these shapes for the F. And for the second line, again, I'm playing here, and then I have to jump back, which is okay, because I can see that this is near here, right? And then here, I'm playing out of this version, F7. Now that we have these lines, how do we build speed with them? There's obviously a lot of ways to approach this. I have my way of approaching it. Other people have their own ways of approaching it. I know what's worked for me, and so I'll give you my approach to this kind of stuff. The first thing I like to do is to take the lines very slowly and make sure we're paying attention to all of our fingerings, all of our picking, all of our dynamics, all of our articulations, and all that kind of stuff, and really give our fingers a chance to know what they're trying to do. I've seen a lot of people talk about, if you're trying to build speed, going slow is counterintuitive. You should try to go fast. And I don't think that's a good mentality. If it works for you, go for it. But I don't think that's going to work, because we got to make sure we know the lines really well. If we don't know the lines really intimately, trying to push speed is just a recipe for, it's kind of like asking to be sloppy, I think, a lot of times. So I will take a line and just go really slow. Now keep in mind, my slow might be quicker than yours, and that's okay. However slow you need to do it to get it really, really strong is exactly what you need to be doing. You don't need to worry about speed yet. Until you can do it 20, 30, 50 times in a row without making a mistake, I don't think you really have it, and I don't think it's worth pushing speed yet until you can really play it really cleanly. And while you're doing it, pay attention to your pick attack. Pay attention to your articulations. Where do you want to slide? Where do you want to do slurs? Do you want to pick everything? You can see I use a lot of slurs and slides. You don't have to do it the way I do it. You can experiment with all kinds of different ways to tackle these lines, and the goal is to accomplish two things. One, to make it easy for you to play, and two, to make it sound a way you like it to sound. I like the sound of the slurs that I use. You don't have to like that, or my slurs might not work for your playing. You don't have to do it the way I do. Find your way that you like to attack this line, and that's totally valid. Also, while you're going slow, make sure both hands are completely at ease. Make sure you don't feel any tension in either hand. If you feel tension, that's not going to go away on its own. If you're trying to build speed and your hands are tense, you're always going to be tense every time you play that. And that can lead to repetitive strain injuries, and that's something we definitely want to avoid. So once we've got it slow, and we've played it a million times and we got really comfortable with it, I think the most obvious way to build speed is to then get the metronome out and start keeping track of, what tempos you can reach and trying to push yourself and moving back and pushing and stuff like that. I always move in groups of 5. So if I can do it at 80, I'll go to 85. 85, 90. But if 90 is hard, I'll go down to 85 again and maybe go up to 87, and take it in smaller increments until 90 is easy. The other way to do it is while you're playing tunes, try to force yourself to use these lines. And obviously you don't want to do this over, Cherokee or, something that's really burning. Take a standard and play it at a mid-tempo and try to force yourself to use it over various 2/5s. Of course, I hope this goes without saying, but definitely make sure you're practicing this in all 12 keys. I showed it in 2 different positions. Those positions are the 2 ways I would play these lines. You might find a 3rd or 4th position that really works for you. Explore those too and take those through all the different keys, because the goal of this is, for one, to build some technique, but also to have lines that we can use. Now also, taking these lines and breaking them up into smaller chunks can be incredibly beneficial to building your technique. You don't need to be able to play this full line all the time, because you're not always going to want to play Bird's full line verbatim, but seeing that you can go over the one chord That's a great little piece of vocabulary to have. Here's another one. You can break these lines into small chunks and find all kinds of great usable material that you can then divide up into your own little exercises and use them to string together longer lines. I'm gonna do a series of lessons looking at, Charlie Parker lines and different horn player lines and see how we can apply them to our instrument and use them to build some technique. So thanks for checking out the lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.